What's up, nerds? Plugged In is back and better than ever. I'm your host, Christian, along with Ant and Sinai. Today, we'll be talking about everything D23, the Nintendo Direct announcements, and so much more. Let's roll the intro. First up on the agenda this week is D23 Marvel. We got a lot of new information, a lot of new trailers for like Secret Invasion, The Marvels, Werewolf by Night, bunch of stuff. What are you guys' thoughts?
I, for one, am really excited for the direction that they're taking. Like with the Secret Invasion trailer dropping, with more information about the Thunderbolts, I think it's shaped up for a really nice bulk of movies.
I definitely agree. I think specifically with the Thunderbolts, with the fact that some people are saying the Avengers are no longer a thing anymore, which a lot of people are going to be like, what does that mean for the rest of Marvel? Because you've kept the Avengers thing going for so long that once you kill that, it's just well, where do we all go from here? So I feel like the Thunderbolts is really going to sort of show what the new phase of Marvel is going to be like going forward.
I agree. I think it's really going to buckle down some of the new characters and establish their roles in the team. And I think it'll be interesting to see some of their dynamics because a lot of them haven't interacted before. I heard, Yelena's supposed to be leading the group?
Yes, I did.
So I'm interested to see how the other members are going to respond to her leadership because there's John Walker, there's, Zemo? Is he on the team?
Zemo's on the team, Taskmaster.
Yeah, so that'll be interesting.
Red Guardian, I think, is on as well.
Okay.
Yeah.
It's just definitely a great cast of characters that are all going to be led by a great person to lead. Mm-hmm. So I feel like it's just going to sort of give new ways to sort of see what the Avengers would be like in another sort of different situation with new people.
Yeah. Plus, now that the Avengers are gone, now they're still there, so they can still make a ton of movies with them. But also, it gives them more of a chance to step away from the structured Avenger. Being able to branch out and explore more comics isn't that kind of what they were trying to do from the start?
Yeah, definitely.
I definitely think it will be a lot more interesting because, like you said, now that they're finally getting away from the main crux of it being just the Avengers, because everybody was, obviously kept up with that with Infinity War and Endgame. I think now that they're getting away from that and restarting it over with the Thunderbolts, it sort of gives a new way to be here's what you love and here's how we're making it better.
Now, one thing that I for sure am super excited about is Captain America: New World Order.
Yes.
I'm a big Captain America guy, so I'm just really excited for this one. And I don't really know what to expect about it, but I really like Sam Wilson, Captain America.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
I think it's definitely going to be very interesting, especially with how everyone was reacting to Sam Wilson becoming Captain America, especially with Falcon and the Winter Soldier. So it's definitely going to be something interesting with this being his first big film as Captain America, so there's a lot of hype to live up to. But I think definitely if Falcon and Winter Soldier taught us anything, he's going to do extremely well. So I don't think it'll be a problem.
Absolutely. And then I'm slipping on his name at the moment, but the other guy is going to become Falcon. Torres.
Yes.
Yeah, I heard that he's going to be Falcon, and I assume he's going to show up in the movie as well. So I think that'll be interesting to see him pass the mantle down as the mantle Captain America was passed to him. He's passing Falcon down.
Yeah.
So I just think that that's really neat.
I think that the passing of the torch, it really kind of symbolized just the new era of Marvel.
Absolutely.
I think it's set up to be pretty cool.
It keeps it fresh, keeps it new, keeps it interesting for the fans.
Yeah. One thing though, at least in my opinion, it might be a little detrimental to the new movie to immediately start comparing it to the rest of the Captain America movies, because it's a new Captain America, it's a new start for the title. So comparing it to how Steve did before him could be detrimental. It's a whole new person. So it might be. At least that's just what I'm thinking.
Right.
Yeah. I think it's just more let him do it first before people start to criticize it.
Right, and I think there's going to be a different direction in his Captain America anyway. So like, it's going to be one of those things. I feel like it won't really be comparable.
Yeah,
They both did it separately, and they both did a good job so far.
exactly.
So I'm definitely looking forward to what happens with all of that. What are your guys' thoughts on like Werewolf by Night? Because I know that trailer just dropped, and that's going to be like a black and white thing. It's going to be like a whole new kind of vibe.
Yeah, I don't really know too much about it, but I heard rumors that Blade was going to be in it, and then I heard rumors that there were like scheduling issues, so Blade wasn't going to be in it. So I think it's all going to just come down to how it is. Like,
Yeah, I will admit I don't know much, but from what I hear, it's definitely going to be very interesting.
yeah.
All right, well, moving right along, we can continue with D23, this time focusing on Disney and Pixar, movies such as that. I know they released the trailer for Hocus Pocus 2, Disenchanted, and like a little teaser trailer for The Little Mermaid. Are you guys looking forward to these movies?
Oh, 100%. Yeah.
I would say Little Mermaid definitely for me is probably going to be the biggest thing that I'm looking forward to, especially with the amount of controversy that was storming around on the internet about it for a decent amount of time now. And I feel like a lot of people are sort of misrepresenting why Halle Bailey was being cast to play Ariel, and it sort of makes me sad because like they haven't even they've only seen one maybe 30-second clip, and they're all up in arms. So I feel like hopefully once the entire movie comes out in May, hopefully people will like change their tune, but we know how people are. So.
Yeah. I mean, in my opinion, they casted her for her voice, like easily.
100%. Yeah.
Like you heard her in the trailer, she sounds like Ariel.
Absolutely amazing.
Like perfect casting in my opinion.
Oh yeah. No, and then the CGI for the tail and for like the swimming and everything, that was really well done as well. And it was just a 30-second clip, like.
Yeah.
And like imagine the rest of the movie. If it's like that for just a 30-second clip of one song, it's definitely going to be something amazing for the rest of the movie as well.
Yeah. What did you guys think of announcements like Mufasa, the prequel to The Lion King, I'm assuming? And there's like the Snow White live action. Like there's a lot coming our way.
I mean, Snow White live action, they already are starting to do a bunch of like princess movies live action, so it's to be expected. And then Mufasa kind of came out of nowhere, but like I think if it does it well, like I think it'd be a welcome addition.
Yeah, I completely agree, especially about Mufasa. We don't really know much about Mufasa in the original movies, so I feel like this is a bit more expected of people, especially like trying to come up with a new story. I definitely think that this will be a welcome thing, especially like with how ill-received the live action Lion King was.
Yeah, definitely curious to see what direction they take Mufasa in. But moving right along, we also had Nintendo Direct this week, and lots of new announcements for that. We got the sequel to Breath of the Wild, Legend of Zelda. It's called Tears of the Kingdom. Did you guys play the original game? Are you excited for this one?
I did play the original game, and I did like it. So I'm very excited to see where they're going to go with this one. I heard a lot of rumors about them not promoting it well in the UK, maybe due to the Queen's passing. So it's definitely going to be a bit difficult promoting wise, but I definitely think that like once things start to come back up again, I do think that this game will do fairly well.
I've never really gotten into the Zelda franchise as a whole personally, but I can see the impact that Breath of the Wild put just on Nintendo and the gaming industry as a whole. So the sequel, the animation looks beautiful. They even dropped the release date. I think this is going to be like a really beautiful game, just visuals wise.
Oh, I'm sure.
Oh yeah.
Like based on the first one alone was great, and like I'm not a huge Legend of Zelda fan, but like even I played that one and I really liked it. But to build upon that with like updated graphics and a new story, like I'm sure that's gonna sell off the shelves quickly.
Yeah.
Let's see. They also announced Pikmin 4. I've never played any of the Pikmin games. Have you guys?
Once again, not really.
Yeah. I definitely have. I've watched people play them before, but from what I'm seeing, it's definitely a lot more interesting than the last couple of games. So I'm hoping that they will be trying to pick up the pieces of what some people were missing from like the original games.
I remember fondly playing the the Pikmin 3 demo on the Wii U. Right before that came out. And I remember that was fun, but I wasn't able to get the game at the time, so maybe I'll be able to get this one. So that's exciting.
It's one of those games that I've always known about, but I never got around to playing it. And so I think I might have to give this one a try. I was watching the trailers for it, and it seems like a puzzle kind of game.
Yeah.
And I usually like puzzle games, so that might be something I'll have to check out.
Yeah.
They also announced a GoldenEye 007 remastered coming to the Switch. I'm not a James Bond kind of guy, but any of you guys have experience with that?
I do. Me and my sister used to love playing the game because she had it on Nintendo 64, and she used to play it all the time. So I'm very excited to see what they do with this because I feel like it's just a big nostalgia factor. Like most people, at least around the time of like the 80s and 90s, loved playing that game. So from what I'm seeing, I hope that they'll bring more like the nostalgia factor of like maybe having it split screen again, maybe.
Ooh,
but
yeah.
like, I feel like it'll definitely be something very interesting as far as like bringing that game back.
Yeah. I too am not too well versed in GoldenEye, but they are bringing like a lot of other really good games. Like they're bringing Pokemon Coliseum 1 and 2. They're bringing back the first like 3 Mario Party games.
Oh, I'm definitely excited for
I'm
that.
so excited. And then they're bringing back, I think, Excitebike is going on there as well.
I'm not even sure what that is.
I only know it because of like the one course in Mario Kart 8. But no, like I'm super excited for the new lineup that's coming to online. Like I think that's gonna be a really nice retro collection.
Yeah, there's a lot of solid stuff. One thing that I'm really excited for has to be the Super Mario animated movies.
Yes.
I gotta say, I'm a sucker for animated movies, and I don't think I've ever seen like a Mario movie per se. I know they used to make older ones, but I never got into those ones.
Yeah.
I'm excited to see how that turns out.
I'm very interested in what the plot's gonna be. Because
Yeah.
like Mario games are meant to be like drawn out. Like the princess is always in another castle. So like
I mean, I think it's definitely, my problem is that it's going to be a little too simplistic. Like, it's just sort of like, you know where it's going to go. Like, you know Mario's going to have to go and save the girl. You know that he's going to have to fight Bowser in the end. So I'm hoping that there's going to be something a little bit more interesting. Like, maybe they'll take something that maybe was from some of the games and make it into the movie somehow. But
yeah.
I think it'll definitely be a little simplistic, though.
Those are some good thoughts. I'm excited to see where that goes.
Me too.
Last up for today, we're going to talk about the Assassin's Creed announcements. They have announced a live-action Assassin's Creed TV series that was already greenlit by Netflix. Do you guys have any opinions about that?
That's a very touchy subject, though.
Yeah.
Because I feel like maybe some other franchises may get in on that. If this thing with Netflix does go well for them, I feel like a lot of franchises are like, well, they did it and that was good. We're gonna do it too.
Oh,
so
absolutely.
I feel like a lot of people are gonna like try to hop on the bandwagon of trying to get stuff on Netflix and not really think about the actual like content. So I do hope that it does go well, but I am also afraid as to how that will maybe hurt other franchises that may not do as well.
I mean, Arcane was a big success for League of Legends.
Very true.
And then if this becomes a big success, like you said, more people are going to try to get in on it. More games are going to try to get in on it. Next thing you know, maybe there's going to be like Risk of Rain TV series. It's going to be like, bring back Banjo-Kazooie. Bring back Banjo-Kazooie. Let's do it.
Well, I've noticed there's been like a resurgence of like video game movies and TV shows. Like I think there was a Halo TV show, and then of course there was Uncharted the movie.
Yeah.
So like I guess we're gonna be seeing a lot more stuff like that in the future.
I'm all for it.
I think it will still be a very good thing because now we'll have like video games that will possibly be based on movies that will be based on video games. Like it'll definitely be like a sort of round off cycle where we're having a bunch of things like and sort of interact with each other. So I think it'll definitely be something interesting to watch in the next couple of years.
One thing's for sure, whatever they do, as long as they don't bring back the tiny-headed, super buff like Goombas from the original Super Mario movie, just don't bring those back. I think we're good. I think we're good.
And I think they learned that mistake years ago. I don't think they're ever going to want to do that again.
And then Bowser looked like a David Bowie side character.
Oh no.
Like,
It was a nightmare. That was the worst thing.
Yeah, so we're cool with the video game movies and TV show adaptations as long as they're done well.
Yes.
And put thought into them.
100%.
Got it. In addition to the live-action Netflix Assassin's Creed, they also announced 5 new games: Mirage, Codename Red, Infinity, Hex, and Jade. Now, have you guys played any of the Assassin's Creed games before?
A very, very long time ago. But from what I remember, they were definitely very action-packed, and it was almost like you immersed yourself there. Like, you felt like you were there. So I hope that, they still continue to do that with these next couple of games. But
For sure.
I do think that now with, we talked about earlier with the whole Netflix thing, maybe this will give a couple more people to, want to check out the game. Because if the Netflix series is good, they'll be like, oh, maybe the game is actually going to be good. I'll play the game.
Yeah.
So I think it definitely will do a lot as far as, gaining traction towards the games themselves.
Yeah, absolutely. And growing up, I didn't play them a whole lot. I played 1 or 2 of them here and there. It was usually my brother that played it, but I enjoyed just climbing around and parkouring and everything. I just thought that was really neat because you don't see that in a whole lot of games, or at least back then I didn't. And so.
And then of course the hay bale.
Oh, of course,
Hay bale
you have to
jump.
jump
Got
off the buildings into the hay
It's a
bale.
staple.
Absolutely. And last but not least, there's a 15th anniversary documentary releasing. It has no release date yet, but I assume it's going to cover all the games up to date.
Yeah.
So I think that'll be really cool for fans to just kind of bring it all together and reconnect. And who knows, maybe it'll connect with the TV show and they'll tie that in with getting more people interested in Assassin's Creed.
I would argue that would probably be their best bet if they want to make the documentary as up to date as possible. I would think waiting until the show is at least 1 season or however long they plan to keep the show up for is done to sort of tell people hey, we've expanded so much, we have a TV show now, we have this out. So it sort of will keep people a lot more interested to be well, what's next? What do you have that's coming up next?
Plus announcing all of this is just a big push in the Assassin's Creed direction. Because now, if people want to get in on all this, then they might be oh hey, maybe I should go play some of the older games so I can be caught up on the story.
Oh, for sure.
That way they have a bit of knowledge. 5 games announced, a documentary, and a Netflix series. That is a lot of marketing.
That's a lot of content.
It's a lot of content.
And a lot of people are going to want to binge it to make sure that they
100%.
will have the entire story together, at least of what's currently going on now.
Yeah, I'm sure. I wouldn't be surprised if they released some sort of a new game that encompassed some of the older ones or something.
5 more Funko Pops. Put them down.
Yeah.
Pre-order. Let's go.
Yeah, I definitely think a lot of it, merchandise-wise, since you brought it up,
Yeah.
definitely a lot of merchandise will come out of this, I'm sure. Because, like you said, most people are going to be I have to watch the documentary, I have to watch the TV show, I'm going to play all the games, I need to get all the merchandise, and we need to make sure we get it now.
Pre-order now. Your hay bale giant beanbag chair.
Oh, yeah.
Hay bale beanbag chair.
You know what? I'm sold. I'll get a hay bale beanbag chair.
Oh yeah.
All right. Well, last but not least, we just have some upcoming movies to discuss. Some of the movies that will be coming out soon include Moonage Daydream, The Woman King. I remember seeing trailers for that.
Yes.
It's an amazing
Movies. That one looks really good.
It looks really
It
good.
looks really good.
See How They Run. The Avatar 2009 re-release is coming out in September, ahead of the release of the sequel, which comes out, I think, Christmas time-ish.
Around
Didn't even know they were making
around
it.
December.
Oh yeah, there's a lot of Avatar movies coming down the pipeline soon.
Yeah.
Of course, #1 highest grossing movie.
That is true. And then, of course, Don't Worry, Darling, coming September 23rd. There's a lot of
Tea on
hype
that.
or tea
Yeah.
around that movie.
Oh yeah.
And then Rose comes out September 30th, and Amsterdam coming out in October.
Yeah.
Yeah, I definitely think that especially now that the Emmys are done, which that just happened, I believe it was a couple of days ago. Especially now that the Oscars will eventually be coming out, if not this winter, then the following year. I definitely think that with these batch of films that are currently scheduled to be released, the Oscars are going to be looking very interesting as far as who is going to be nominated. It's just going to be very interesting.
It's gonna be a really star-studded lineup of movies. Woman King seems really interesting, and Don't Worry, Darling is gonna be interesting. So I think it's gonna be a really interesting next month or two for just cinema in general.
For sure. I will definitely be at the movies a lot
Oh,
in
yeah.
the next couple months. Well, that's all the time we have left for tonight's episode. I'm Christian, along with Ant and Sinai. Tune in next week for another riveting discussion in the world of pop culture. Have a great night, Millersville.